What is going on, everybody? True believers, it's a red day, right? Even though the market is in the green for the moment, I get the sense that this is going to be a very, very bloody sort of day. We are a mere 37 hours away, estimated, at the halving. When this happens, everything about Bitcoin will shift. The landscape will slowly start to shift in a very, very interesting sort of way. Now, I'm not sure where you land on it, but obviously, for most everybody, this is a big moment. The halving, it is one of the bigger deals in all of cryptocurrency. Of course, Bitcoin Cash did not rip so far, but we saw that one happen the other day. They're having so now we're on the big dog on the block. ETF inflows are starting to slow down, despite the fact that BlackRock is still getting their inflows. The overall inflows are starting to really slow down as we get to this halving point. Remember, there's a lot of analysts out there who are looking at Bitcoin. They're looking at their entry points. They're looking at their entry positions, trying to figure out what is best for the people that they are financially advising. When we say that, I should remind you guys, I am not a financial advisor and I am not qualified to give you financial advice. All I can do is sit here and look pretty, which doing a fantastic job of that. Am I right though? Up top, high five, or no? Okay, don't do that. That's fine. Anyway, the point is, we're on the verge of something massive. We are on the verge of that having Bitcoin will cut down from 6.25 Bitcoin mined per block to 3.125. What that will do very quickly is lead to a diminishing of the available Bitcoin on exchanges, because that's how the replenishment basically works. When the miners sell to the exchanges, they get paid, and that puts the Bitcoin back. And basically, it's a replenishment method. Well, it's going to replenish a lot slower now, so the price is going to have to go up to convince people that they need to put their Bitcoin on exchanges. If you see how this dynamic is working right now, so that is so that the Bitcoin ETFs can start buying. Remember, Hong Kong has given preliminary regulatory approval for their ETFs, both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So are we going to look at 30 days of sideways motion or something like that? I don't think so. I think we're about to see a little bit faster of a rollover, a changeover, whatever you want to call it. I think it's going to be a little bit quicker this time. So anyway, we're going to break all that down and more. And Shibarium is, for some reason, there is a massive amount of activity on Shibarium. We're going to look at Shibarium today one more time. So remember, this is not financial advice as we kick this off, and I am always right.
It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys, I hope that you are having a great morning. And by the way, if you good morning, then good morning. If you don't good morning, then good morning anyway, because you're not the boss of me and you don't tell me what to do. If I want to tell you good morning, I'm going to tell you good morning. So, good morning. Anyway, let's get into chat and let's see what's going on here. Jay Locke is in the house, and he was first, by the way. I put this out a little bit late last night, and he was the first man in the house. Richard Caldwell is here. Good morning. Brian Bootyhead, Aaron Thompson. I can't say it because I'm not, and it's having, not happening. That's not real. It's not like the happening. It's the having. It's where you cut things in half. Having it. And then Duke Wan says, having and jinging. We got Masonic Mike, top of the morning. We got George Lopez Garcia in the house, Justin W., Chris Stanhope. I wonder if you're related to Doug. Richard Caldwell, Brian Bootyhead. We got the Bozos. Crypto Antagonist is here. We've got Jeff T in the house. Anthony Tremaine is here. Hammerside. Your wrestling name would be the Mohawk Maniac. Well, you know something, brother. I agree. Yeah, I believes the. I don't know what would my name. Thuggy Bumpers. My wrestling name would be Thuggy Bumpers, and I would come out to a country song, and I would rap over the country song on my way out, and I would wear pink thigh-high boots. That would be my wrestling thing, and people be like, "What in the is going on with this guy? Is he okay?" No, he's not. He's really not. So there. Anyway, so good morning to everybody. We got Aaron Thompson in the house. We got Jay Manuel in the house. Vader Prime is here. Adrian P. Centrifuge is here. Jason Pollins, Richard Nelson. We got Eddie C in the house. Richard Jones. Good morning to everybody. Poe is in the house. Good morning, if you good morning. Art Caffeine. Love you too, man. I appreciate you. Maddie B is in the house. I would look pretty if God damn it, I'd look pretty no matter what I wore. Embola Janet is in the house. Dangerous Crypto, Daniel Delgado, Andy Cox is here. We got Xander Harris in the house. We've got Trail Boss here. Stig Beater, Chuckles in the house. Remington Perot is here. Miles Maddox is here. What is going on? Guys, don't even think about the thigh-high boots. I was just kidding. I'm not really kidding. I would have done it anyway. But by the way, just for the record, and you won't know who it is, but one of my favorite wrestlers when I was growing up, other than, by the way, Jerry Lawler, was a guy by the name of Adrian Street. Adrian Street looked like a member of Kiss if Kiss wore pink, and he had like little he had his hair up and pigtails, and just he was wild, just absolutely wild. He had a feather boa that he would flap around, and he did this androgynous sort of thing, which was just unbelievably funny. And he had his wife was his wrestling manager. They just traveled the world together and did it. Memphis wrestling. You guys don't know it, but you would know it. The pink stinker, you know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah, I could be the pink stink. I could be the pink version of Dusty Rhodes, the son of a plumber, if you will. All right. Anyway, let's get into some crypto here because the good mornings, man, they are over. We got to get out of good morning. Now, I want to start off by saying this. I am not really a fan of Watcher Guru. Okay. They are a politically motivated organization, and I'm not really a fan of that. However, I do support the fact that Donald Trump supports crypto. So, in that context, it is my intention to vote for Donald Trump in the upcoming election. Not because I believe any of the bullshit that people spout out about, whatever dumb thing is being said next. And I don't really care about that. And by the way, if he's guilty of something, then let him be found guilty. But if he can still run for president, let him still run for president. It's not going to affect me because all of those kind of bad things. Well, I know the other politicians do the same thing. It really doesn't. That's not what bothers me. I'm one topic. My topic is cryptocurrency. So I'm voting for him for mass adoption of cryptocurrency. Now, Watcher Guru, on the other hand, they like to tip their hat into all kinds of weird sort of pools. So I try to stay away from Watcher Guru, and I haven't used them for a while. And then I recognize, you know what? I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you guys. So and they have valid information. They have important information. So I figured, it's irresponsible of me to not share that information with you, if you will. It seems to me that I should probably put my opinion off to the side and just deal with the news, right? So that's what we're going to do. No, Dusty Rhodes wore black and yellow, and it was spotted at one point. He didn't always do that. One time he was called the Midnight Rider, and he came out to Greg Allman's Midnight Rider. A lot of different wild stuff that Dusty was the son of he was the American dream, son of a plumber. And everything he did was in public, if you will. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Watcher Guru for just a second here. And first thing up is the Bitcoin halving countdown. They have a live Bitcoin countdown. Watcher.guru/Bitcoin halving predicts April 19, 10:04 p.m. And it's going to happen in 1 day and 12 hours. So about one day and 13 hours away from right now. Bitcoin price just surged, by the way. And I mean the surge. When I say surge, guys want you to see this. The Bitcoin price is up $57 billion as of right now, and I want to show you what that looks like because it just happened. By the way, you're starting to see that little turnaround and that little surge from this dip to 59. Have we seen the end of 60,000? That's the question. Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that today is going to be a good day, Tater, or it looks like it anyway. So if we get a nice little rip, a nice little run, then that's going to be fantastic. You know, looking around here, we're starting to see a lot of green in the market. So hopefully we will see that. And by the way, while we're on that, before we move on, I do want to point out DevE. I do have some content coming out on DevE today. It's a new green blockchain. I've kind of referenced it and I've kind of talked about it a little bit, but I haven't gotten too deep into it. So I just want to point out that I'm going to be covering it. And just about a month ago, if I can be so bold to tell you guys, it was trading at $2.25 on launch. So if you remember, the same thing happened when there was a launch on Arbitrum and a bunch of different blockchains with pre-sales and stuff like that. Well, guess what? This is another one. It seems to have found its little bottom region right here. I want to say that this little wicking down here at the bottom probably represents a move towards that upside, that we're going to get some momentum going back the other way. The market has been kind of pressing down on every project. I think this thing is going to have a real good sending. It's available for 44 cents right now. Again, trading at $2.25 about a month ago. So I'm pretty excited about it. I am a holder of it. So if you will, go watch that content today because I really liked it. And if you might notice, I'm changing my thumbnails around and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So anyway, we are, this is getting ready to go, guys. People are getting super excited. The market is starting to bubble and seethe. But anyway, so the halving is kind of ripping right now. Bitcoin price 63,451, still continuing its upward momentum. Now, the other thing about Watcher Guru is they are now tracking BNB or any ERC-20 project. So if you're using DEX tools, you could actually now use Watcher.guru. I do want to stress I am not partnered with Watcher Guru, but it is important to point out when you have things that make your life easier. Guys, I don't like Watcher Guru, but this website is actually what I've always wanted in a website. So you know, you come over here to Watcher Guru, you can get the Bitcoin halving information, you can get DeFi charts if you want, you can get a burns tracker, you can get news that you want, you can advertise with them, and you can do socials. And you know, when you pop into the news, it gives you a pretty robust sort of news opportunity here. So, you know, VChat, it gives you predictions, it's stuff like that. So a good news source, despite the fact that I don't like them. So there we are. Also, this is what the BNB real-time burning. Now, you might notice that this looks incredibly similar. It's the same as Lunk burn metrics or Lunk metrics. So if you're interested and you're looking, by the way, it's the same format. I'm going to pull this up for you just for a second here. We're going to talk about Lunk a little bit later, but Lunk metrics, if you notice, the same format here. So they're using about the same thing. It's the total number burned, how much was burned over the last 7 days, and then what the circulating supply is. So it just kind of tells you and gives you information about you know, what's going on with BNB. And of course, you know, remember BNB, anytime they have an issue, they start burning. Well, guess what? There's a really good issue that's probably going to pop up, which is going to cause Binance to start surging again. Famously, I did not like CZ Binance. I told you guys he was a criminal. I told you he was a crook, and goddamn it, I was right. I was right about everything that I said about CZ Binance. I hope that doesn't offend you by me being right about it, because that doesn't mean that he's bad for the crypto space. Same thing I said about Ben Armstrong at one point. I said that, you know, he's great for the crypto space, despite the fact that we don't always agree on everything. So, you know, no big deal. So again, I say it, but I like CZ Binance. You know what I mean? So hopefully he's done, you know, hopefully it's all, we'll see what happens. Anyway, so here's the good news. And this just happened. So congratulations, Binance has obtained a regulatory license in Dubai. So this is actually a very big deal. You know, Obviously, Binance has been having its struggles, but to get into one of these big communities, that is a fantastic opportunity for the people of Binance. By the way, if you are here, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like button. That like button is so important to me. There are very few things that I can do about YouTube. I mean, the algorithm does what the algorithm does. What I rely on every day is you guys. I rely on you guys to hit the like button for me, which helps me trend. And then the more you hit that like button, the more, the more people that just kind of take the more people this gets sent to. So if I do a couple of pieces of content every day and you don't engage with them, by the way, I'm not making Ben videos. Ben called me the other day, asked me to stop making Ben videos for a little while. They got something big that they're working on. And I'm just kind of beating a dead horse at this point. Like I'm trying to make up reasons to provide you with daily content. So content will come out a little more sporadically, if you will. Don't worry about the fact that if you don't see me making Ben videos every day. He said, that we're going to have this big thing that's coming pretty soon, but me talking about it every day probably doesn't help. So we're going to slow that down just a little bit. So, but that does mean that there'll be different types of content coming out. And it's important that you help me by hitting that like button and engaging with the content. And if you do that, then more people come in. And if I can get more people to hit that like button, then more people come in, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we grow. So, and that's what I need to do, is grow this channel a little bit. So this Binance thing, by the way, back to it, big deal, because the Dubai subsidiary of global cryptocurrency exchange Binance has been granted a virtual asset service provider license in Dubai. So they're now back to the expansion mode. Remember, they moved out of the Netherlands, Germany. There were a lot of different places where Binance could not do business, and now they're going back, getting into line with whatever regulatory issues they need to have addressed, and they're getting back into these markets, Dubai being the biggest of the markets. So shout out to Binance for making it happen. They've now got this is a big move for Binance. Also, in line with that, I have another one, but of course, um, uh, I need to pull this up for you. Binance launches Megadrop. This is a new feature, and Binance launches the Binance Megadrop, integrating simple earn and Web3 wallet for enhanced engagement. The first token, BounceBit, offers rewards and Web3 quests, setting a new standard. This is something different than you've seen ever before. Uh, as its inaugural token, Binance Megadrop will introduce BounceBit, a promising Bitcoin restaking chain with a maximum total supply of 2.1 billion BB. The Mega Drop will offer rewards of 168 million BB, equivalent to 8% of the maximum supply. These tokens will become part of the initial circulating supply of 409.5 million BB, representing 19.5% of the total. Binance Mega Drop not only allows users to subscribe BNB to locked products, but also encourages participation in various Web3 quests. By completing tasks within the Web3 wallet, users can gain early access to rewards. So it's not just giving you tokens, it's giving you access to early rewards from selected Web3 projects before their official listing on the Binance exchange. That probably for you as an investor becomes huge. This initiative aims to help provide an engaging blend of educational content and tangible rewards. By the way, there is something like that kind of on Coinbase. It's not really, they haven't really gamified it very well. What they basically say is, hey, go into if you use a Coinbase wallet, then it'll say, "Hey, do you want to earn something? Go over here and buy something." You know what I mean? So a little different, but this is a fine. This is really kind of a cool thing that they're building out. And then finally, Binance is seeking India return amid regulatory compliance efforts. They are actively negotiating their return to India, aiming to reinstate operations after facing regulatory challenges early this year. Also, in case you didn't know, Binance did sell off 16,000 Bitcoin to shore up their reserves for $1 billion last night. So if you saw a dip in the market, a little downward momentum for a little while, that was Binance selling off 16,000 Bitcoin, not that much in the overall and broader market for the trade volume for the day, but it is substantial. I mean, it's substantial. But it usually gets bought back up. And as we can see, of course, from the Bitcoin price, it got bought back up. We're at 63,600 right now. The market seems to be kind of soaring. We're up $73 billion on the day. So shout out to Binance for finally making some stuff happen. And then let's get into Shiba. Now, here's what's going on with Shiba Inu. The Shibarium blockchain suddenly has a really big and robust sort of, whatever it is that's going on. Um, Scan.io. We're gonna check out Shibarium here real quick. I forgot to pull it up. Shibarium.shib.io. God damn it. I forgot the name of it for a second. Unbelievable. So as you guys can see right here, that's not what I wanted either. I did it right the first time. It didn't pop up. All right, here we go. All right, so here we go. So you can see now the transactions. This is the transactions, by the way, going back through, for a long period of time. So let's go with transactions per day. If you look down here at the bottom, you can see 3, 4, 5,000. Now you had spikes every once in a while in transactions. The site is not working very robust. You had 242,000 transaction over here, and then going up 200,000, 288,000. Then you have 347,000. You have 420,000. I see what you stoners did. Then you had 958,000 on April 14. Then you had a dip down here a little bit more to 352,000. And then you had yesterday or day before yesterday, a little bit slow, but 562,000 transaction. Guys, that is an enormous increase in the amount of traffic going through Shibarium right now. So, the metrics are surging. This is a marked, despite the ongoing bloodbath across the broader crypto market, Shiba Inu's L2 scaling solution, Shibarium, has continued to witness a spike in adoption. This marked by a resurgence in the number of daily transactions on the network, which plunged below 6,000 on April 10. Shibarium's daily transaction activity has skyrocketed, reaching 562,000 at press time, according to Shibarium Scan. With the daily transaction activity surging to around 562,000, total transaction count is now 416,865,000. It bears mentioning that the Shibarium transaction activity spiked majorly in December of 2023 as the network averaged around 7.5 million transactions daily. In addition, the number of wallets that have interacted with Shibarium since its mainnet launch in August has reached 1.78 million. Also, the network has minted a total block of 4.2 million at an average block time of 5 seconds. So we're starting to see a more robust Shibarium, which would indicate that there's probably going to be a meme coin surge, and that's going to be great for the Shiba Inu price. So Shiba Inu is right now at a critical support level, and there are addresses right now that are holding trillions of SHIB right now. So you can see we had this move here. It was supposed to be breaking out, right? But it ended up breaking down. So we just got that bad momentum about a week ago in the market, and we broke down pre-halving dump, if you will. And now what you're seeing is I'm going to do this by the hour, by the way. It'll probably be easier that way, but you can see if I kind of zing this out just a bit here, we're forming lower highs. Now that tends to be a bullish indicator if you've got higher lows coming in. We bounced down here to 1835, immediately got bought back up. There's a lot of strength there. Then it comes back down to 28, 2208. Then it bounces back up, and we get kind of a flat breakout. By the way, I do want to point out that this did kind of go this way. Take this part out of the equation. That seems like a surge to try to correct, but really it's kind of flat topping its way across. And if it's flat topping its way across, that this is a wedge. This is an ascending wedge. That is almost a confirmed breakout. Now, it doesn't mean that it won't break down, but it is right now looking like it's preparing for a surge. And by the way, we did see this on a few tokens a few months back when we saw these pennants play out. We saw these big pennants, and then all of a sudden everything dropped, and then boom, Bitcoin ripped, and everything else started forming new highs along with it. So that is something that we could end up seeing in this. So Shibarium and SHIB seem to be having a nice little run, but excuse me, invariably, We got to check the data to know. The platform confirms there's exactly 397,000 Shiba Inu addresses that hold 2.44 trillion SHIB at an average price of 401, ranging from 508 to 4014. The support level reveals significant buying pressure and the potential for market stability at this price range, effectively functioning as a cushion before dumping SHIB's price. And the Shiba Inu whales have continued to hold very strong in their belief that SHIB is on its way up. Despite the low value, whales held strongly. Interestingly, the Crypto Basic recently discovered that 6 SHIB addresses have each held precisely 5 trillion SHIB over the last 2 years, which are worth over 110 million. The tokens were acquired on March 31st, 2021, 7 months after the project launched. So we do have some people here, some big guys holding on to the floor. Despite the ongoing fluctuation, SHIB whale addresses have continued to accumulate, amassing over 223 billion tokens in the recent price drop to around 4018. So they are buying, and that's the important thing right now, is to consider that when it came down into this range, there was an enormous buyback, which led to this price spike, which is what we're talking about right here, is this move right here, which ended up being bought up real heavy and coming back into the 24 range. So there's a lot going on in the SHIB whales, if you will, and they are looking for a breakout. And it looks like we might even be getting a breakout right now. We're at 77 billion in market cap. Looks like we're getting just a tiny bit of surge. Bitcoin's now at 63,800. We are getting a little bit of a revival. We're heading into this chop and resistance right now. So probably a rejection down into this range before continuing on, if that happens. If this is not artificially done, by the way, I don't want to say that it won't be, just that, it could be that this is just an artificial thing. But Shibarium and SHIB starting to show a little bit of resilience. And guys, look, we faded many times SHIB, looking for other coins, looking for other tokens, looking for other projects because we want to get that nice big pump. But guess what? It does look like Shiba Inu is about to have a nice little run. So hopefully it's going to look pretty cool as we see it surge up to a new all-time high. Of course, it's going to go there. The question right now should be, if you're SHIB, is there an opportunity for 100 to be the first meme coin to be 100 billion market cap? Now you got to catch Doge, obviously, but 100 billion market cap is probably the next goal for everybody, because of course we did 70 or 80 billion in that last run up. So now we're looking at 100 billion market cap and blowing through that and moving on to the next level. Now, in the meantime, let's talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin dominance increases as halving nears, and the Bitcoin price lingers near 61,000. As we can see right now, it is starting to blow up. Bitcoin dominance continues to surge, by the way. So let me pull that up for you. ETH to Bitcoin surge. You can see right here is down just a little bit. It's surging downward right now. So the Ethereum is not holding up very well to Bitcoin. And by the way, this is kind of reverse. So when you see this right here, this is when Bitcoin is starting to surge. And Ethereum is starting to get weaker and weaker and weaker. So that the way I'm looking at it is ETH to Bitcoin, not Bitcoin to ETH, because I'm looking for ETH to have that breakout. So right now, because that's the symbol of altcoins. And by the way, altcoin market is down to 39 on the RSI. So we are not in altcoin season. We're not even close at this point, but starting to push down, which means that Bitcoin dominance is starting to creep its way back up. From this level here, probably going to come down a little bit more. If the trend line means anything, then we're seeing it start to come down, 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 down. And in the longer term, despite that little spike right there, this is more likely, we're going down through this channel. Now, it does mean that we're going to get an altcoin season, but it does also appear that if this is playing out right, that at least the heart line, which, right in this range or down here a little bit more, we might see a little bit more surge in Bitcoin coming almost immediately. So, we'll watch it and see what happens. Again, Bitcoin surging now 63,800. So we are having not yet a breakout, but the level that I just told you guys that might be a problem here. It looks like we're still robustly sort of pushing our way through. Will it maintain? I don't know. We're early on it. So, but if it does, then this could be the rip all the way up to 67. Like it could really just start to go at any moment. So I'll be watching out for that. Next up, BlackRock. So BlackRock extends their ETF inflows as the category demand slows. Grayscale Investments Bitcoin Trust has kept a slight asset under management edge over IBIT for now at about 19.4 billion to 17.1 billion respectively as of Tuesday. However, they started with around 28 billion in assets upon converting and have endured 16 billion in outflows. Ui Yang, chief economist at Bit Mining, says BlackRock's strong brand, competitive fee structure, and extensive distribution helps the firm's Bitcoin ETF appeal to institutional investors. Institutional investors, again, they've only had 7 days just to understand. And I think we should clarify. Before we do that, let's get into what are my thoughts on Ski. I think we looked up Ski yesterday. Let me make sure I got the right ones. The Ski Mask Dog, I think. Yeah, it's the Ski Mask Dog. All right. So here's where I told you guys I thought that there would be a breakout, and then I put this when we did this yesterday. What I said was there's depends on the market conditions, but it's forming up very nicely. However, if it breaks out towards the downside or if it breaks sideways, then it's going to have this resistance area right here. And guess what? You're sitting right now at that resistance area. So I would say that Ski is probably not primed for a buy because this is a nice surge right here. I would say I would wait and see if you can get a little bit of this downward trajectory here, see if it rejects its way back down to this 3 level and then has a breakout, because this is the first test. Most things don't just pop through on the first test. However, it should be noted, we're at 47% on the day. This thing is really starting to push. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the profile over here. Up 40%, number one top performer right now on the day. So I do think, and thank you for the $2 bomb, by the way. I do think that this is a buy opportunity, and 7 million market cap, 300 million in liquidity, $824,000 in volume. If we just get a little bit of a surge in meme coins, if we just get a little bit of a surge in Bitcoin, if we really just start to get a nice little correction in this overall and broader market, then we could see something incredible start to play out, especially on young tokens like this. In an instant, you could see this thing running up to like 50 million market cap. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be a life-changing moment coming real soon. So right now, it's just a matter of time and finding where it happens and when it happens. Anyway, back to BlackRock. Given the growing institutional interest in crypto, IBIT is well positioned to surpass Grayscale Bitcoin and the very short term. Now, by the way, it's only been KCEX. Do they have a coin of their own? Not yet. They are going to launch one. I actually had that discussion with them. They are planning a launch pretty soon. I think. Wait a minute. Maybe it's KCX. Hold. You know what? Hold the phone. It might have been KCX. No, or KX. These are funds. God damn it. Never mind. Hold on. Yeah, I don't think that they have one yet, but I think that they are planning on launching one. I did kind of have a preliminary discussion with them, and like for the life of me now, my brain just stopped working, and I don't remember exactly what they ended up saying. But I think that they were planning on doing a launch, and the point to them was they came referred to me from MEXC because they have such high liquidity. Like this is something that they want to get off the ground. It's a non-KYC centralized exchange. And even, I mean, if you're getting the referrals out here from MEXC as well, not that the referral of MEXC should mean more or less than any other exchange, but the fact that an exchange is saying, hey, look, this is a place that we feel is safe for you. I like that. I like that. Even if I'm not a fan of their fees, I like the fact that they were at least upfront and said, hey, as we're going to do. But so anyway, I do think that they'll have one, but who knows? Also, Binance and Bybit monthly volumes have tripled since late 2023. So there's a lot of there's a lot of nervousness. There's a lot of people that are concerned about the market, et cetera, right? But Bybit data, the growth trend of centralized exchanges has failed to overtake the growth rate of decentralized exchanges. As major DEX Uniswap increased its volume by 320%. But a new report says that trading volumes on centralized exchanges have spiked significantly since late last year. Released on April 18, Bybit's report indicates that OKX 30-day volumes have surged as much as 278% since last October. Make sure, by the way, if you're coming in right now and you're just checking it out, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're on X, if you're on the X app, please make sure that you hit the like button over there and that you hit the share button and share this content. Quote it, repost it, do whatever it is. Make sure that it sends so that more people are seeing me go live, because I'm sure that they love one of the most important things that people love: red backgrounds. Red glows in the background. I did red today. Also, I can do green and all that kind of shit too. So you know what I mean? Like, I have a whole bunch of different options here, trying to do a little bit different around the horn, if you will. And I think this frame, we're going to make a different color pretty soon. By the way, do you know Ben told me that I'm too dark? I'm as white as it gets. And he was like, dude, you got to lighten up your background. So we're going to lighten things up here just a little bit, because after, I could have been like, ew, you know what I mean? But actually, when you're right, you're right. So we're going to lighten things up here just a little bit, starting off with changing a little bit of the color schemes and stuff like that. And then the frame, we're going to change the frame a little bit, make it a different color, if you will. So just listening. So anyway, all three exchanges have surpassed the industry's average growth rate of 255%. So no matter what, the growth for overall is 255%. US-based exchange Coinbase increased its volumes by 193%, slightly trailing from the average growth rate. So fantastic, incredible stuff happening out here in these markets right now. So it's good to see that we're finally starting to see all of these things. And by the way, I got something else happening over here. Oh, there we go. By the way, I put that up there a little while back. I don't know how that's going to run. If that's obnoxious and it's annoying, then you guys can let me know. But until then, I'm just going to leave it and let it run for a second there. So anyway, also in token unlocks, let's talk about that. Today, you got IMX popping out here. They're going to drop 67 million. So if you're holding IMX, I would not be holding IMX. Pixel is dropping 21 million today. So if you're holding Pixel, I would not be holding Pixel. If you're Algorand, they're dropping 398,000. That's not too much. So I wouldn't worry about that one too much. That'll probably just kind of pump its way right through. I'm not really worried about any of these. ID 13 million dropping today. That's what they call a cliff. And then down here, you got SWE is dropping about $1 million in 8 days. So you're good for a while. Ajax, which of course, they're merging with Fetch. So I don't know what the new token is going to be called, but they're dropping 7.4 million. So over the next couple of days, I'd be looking at that. When 54 million is coming out from Optimum. I would not be looking to hold on to these during that period of time. And Didex, $73 million dropping in 12 days. So, I would be looking at some of these as being like, I'm not buying those. Not for a couple days anyway. See how it shakes out. Now, on to Terra Luna Classic. Crypto Antagonist says 64K pre-halving pump and dump. That's what makes the most sense. I would think that, I would think that we're probably going to get some kind of dump, but in fact, we're not. We're getting a move into the range. Anyway, with Terra Luna Classic, today's project, and everything that I do, by the way, I do want to point out with Terra Luna Classic, everything that I do is sponsored by Terraport.finance for this month. I was told at one point that is a blockchain that's taking away from Luna Classic, and then I started digging in, started looking at it, and that's not the case at all. I'm going to disagree with that sentiment. It really seems like Terraport.finance really is working hard for the success of the Lunk ecosystem. And by the way, I do want to point out it's a Lunk ecosystem. There's going to be a lot of crossover and a lot of variables. But if you are ever and you are interested in trading, and they're going through maintenance, by the way, so you do see a little bit, from time to time. But anyway, at here you can see the price of Terra and Lunk is just spiking. You can see that Terra price down here was a little bit low, started to spike in the last couple of hours, of course, having a nice little surge on the day. But if you want to trade, you can trade Luna Classic, Cremation, Terra Tritium, Osmosis, USDT, USDC, BNB, USTC, GRDX, Frag, Frog, LUNW, SFrog, Lenny Lunk, TADF, LNCSON, Food, HMeme, Rakoff. You got Jed Rakoff. You got Judge the octogenarian old Jed Rakoff out here that you could trade as well. And then you've got an Elon token, and then you've got an LWM, and then of course anything that goes along with it. So you can trade all these tokens over there. It's the halving, damn it. It's still the halving. It's not the happening. And by the way, do you know why it's the happening? Is because of that show, The Happening, because people started to use that and they were like, oh, it's going to be called The Happening. And a little weird that happened. But anyway, so there's a vast ecosystem. Miata.io was the one that I covered today. They have NFT miners, which are going to be kind of cool. So that's going to be that's going to be kind of nice. You know what I mean? So by the way, we are starting to see a little bit of a breakout on some tokens. So I'm not sure if it's going to sustain. We're up $70 billion on the day. You know, I mean, we are rejecting, which I told you would probably happen. You'll see there's some wicking right here, right now. So we pushed up into this range that I said. Now we're going to come back down maybe for a retest right around 62.6. I would want to say. And if we don't, by the way, like we could just start pushing through. People could be looking at the Haveningling and thinking, you know, this just we're just going to buy right now. I would think though the broader market is probably going to dunk on it and dump on it. So that would be my opinion of what's getting ready to happen. But I don't know. You know what I mean? We'll see. But as far as Terra Luna Classic goes, no real stuff going on with Duquan. You know, we haven't had any clarity on that. We haven't gotten. We got a bunch of proposals up, by the way. If you are a fan, you can come to lunk-.com. Actually, fantastic. What this ecosystem is currently evolving into, and you can see how everybody votes. So you can see that there's a proposal to decrease the maximum block size to 10x the gas fees, which, by the way, the gas fees right now are like 1/1000th of a penny, and they want to upgrade it to 1/100th of a penny. So, I mean, come on, vote yes. You know what I mean? Changing the reward share distribution of the burn tax. And then there's a minimum commission 2.5. By the way, this would be just a fantastic, like, I want this thing to happen. By the way, there's so far Galactic Shift, Twingo, LVS, and Battle Force have all voted yes. And who's abstaining? Luna Station and Terraport so far. And by the way, you know, a lot of people don't want a KYC, even though it might be best for business, if you will. Is it for real? I don't know. It's my opinion that people, you know, I don't need to know who you are. I just need to know that somebody does, in case you try to scam me or something like that. I mean, this is a nervous space, so you know, I would side with that. In that, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to change that minimum commission to 2.5 because people like let me go back here and there's people like there's one, he's out here, it's called Jesus is Lord, and Jesus is Lord 1 and 2. This guy's got 6% of all voting power. He's got more voting power than some of these other ones because instead of going with the cap, he just made a second one. And then he convinced people to stake. And look, he's voting yes on this one because 10xing the gas fees is good for the blockchain. And I don't like him. And there's some people, by the way, that voted no. Terraport voted no. Galactic Shift voted no. Lighthouse Nodes. You know, there's a lot of people out here that are voting no. So, but the other people, like, we want to build a little bit. Now, and it's going to be, by the way, prohibitive. So if you vote for it, if you vote yes right now, we need to have this discussion a little bit later on. But you know, again, I'm getting a little off track, I know, but go check out Lunk Dash if you are a Luna Classic fan, and you know, let's see what happens. So next up is Heard It on the X. I didn't hear anything on the X, by the way. Like, I have no idea what's going on in the world anymore. I'm just way too like checked out of some of these things, some of these times, if you will. But Mustache Man, of course, he's like, any day now we're gonna have altcoins just kind of booming. You know, we're gonna do it because maybe. All right, so now let's get into Heard It on the X. And first up, Bitcoin below 50,500 could cause over 15 billion in liquidations. 15 billion is sitting right in that little range right there. Let me see what they're looking at. They're looking at the 50,000 range. Okay, so let's go look at our model over here, and we're going to change this to like the 1 year I think it's probably going to show up on the 1 year. It's the same chart that we're using, of course. No, it's not nearly. As a matter of fact, they're probably using they're probably using all. I'm only using Binance right now, but you can see right here, like in this range, it would be fair to say 50,000 is going to be just a phenomenal amount. And by the way, when they put this is not true. It's not 15 billion in liquidations. There's $15 billion in leverage positions. So if they're using 10x leverage on average, then that means that there's 1.5 billion there to be liquidated. And most of those people, as it's coming back down, they're going to set stop losses so that they continue to be in profit. These are the guys that made that money off of that last big boom. They're going to take profits at a few of these levels so that by the time it comes back down here, it's going to be more like 6 billion. So it'll be 600 million in liquidations. Like, it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like, at first I thought that it did, but it absolutely does not. Now, a new study on ETF closures from Cerophagus shows that on average, ETFs that closed return doubled after they closed versus when they were alive. Further, their outperformance rate doubled after closure. Got to hang in there with ETFs in the darkest hours, especially true for high volatile strategies. Or think twice launching at peaks. Consider launching when it's in the darkest hour, a la URNM. So, what does that mean? I have no idea, but I'm just using the words. Bitcoin halving will not be different. All Bitcoin prices, this is somebody's opinion, by the way. This is not factual, but the Bitcoin halving will not be different. All Bitcoin price increases will again be around the halving. Buying 6 million before the halving and selling 18 million after the halving will outperform buy and hodl. 100,000 in 2024, 300,000 in 2025. Now, that's, and by the way, guys, that's a reasonable estimate at this point. I just want to let you guys know that. Ukrainian lawmaker Andrei Odorchenko is going to stand trial after trying to bribe the head of the state reconstruction agency with $10,000 worth of Bitcoin to repair Kharkiv State Biotechnology University, according to the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine. That's wild. Why this has anything to do with Bitcoin other than the fact that it was used as a transaction. Stop confirming stuff for Liz Warren. She watches me. You know what I mean? All right, so the TD sequential indicator indicates a buy signal on the Chainlink daily chart, suggesting a potential 1 to 4 day upswing. So I'd be looking for that. By far, the strongest project during this correction is NAI. I don't know about that. Ellie got a flat tire on the way to work today. LOL. New Bitcoin halving advertisements continue to pop up across Bangkok. I just like saying Bangkok. You know what I mean? That's funny. Some perspective here from Eric Balkunis. Swan reports breaking on Friday, Bitcoin ETFs experience net outflows totaling 55.1 million. So Eric Balkunis says, some perspective on the it's so over ETF flows lately. Today, totally normal for ETF categories to cool off after a breathtaking pace like this, especially with price down 12% in 5 days. It's microscopic. Over the past 5 days, the 10's net inflows are negative 223 million. That is 1% of the 10's net inflows since launch, and 0.4% of their asset. That net number is still GBTC driven, as the new 9 have seen inflows of 330 million over the past 5 days, with IBIT extending its inflow streak to 67 days, which is a minor miracle. Back to the 12% price drop in 5 days. That's on the Bitcoin natives, the so-called hodlers. So again, if you feel the need to point fingers, just remember the call is coming from inside the house. Even with the price drop, Bitcoin is still up 144% since BlackRock's filing last June, 47% year to date. So let's close that out. Let's look real quick at what is going on with the with Bitcoin. We're just going to use a fib extension because it's popping up again. And guys, I want to stress this, and I want to stress this very specifically. When you look at when you look at these charts, when you're checking these charts out, Bitcoin always breaks through the fib extension. Okay, Bitcoin, I'm saying again, Bitcoin always breaks through the fib extension. Now that I've said that, let's go look at the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, God damn it, and I just unshared it. I really wish. Anyway, so I know it's a little tough to see, but bear with me here. So it looks like Bitcoin is ready for a breakout up to about 71,523. The reason I say that is because Bitcoin always seems to break out on that auto fib extension, and it always seems to bust out and it hits that 4.236 paradigm. So I get a sense here and a feeling that maybe just perhaps, even though, by the way, we could dip down even further. We do have to remember there is no change right now in the trend until there's a change in the trend. This trend right now is still going down. So we could still see some lower pressure. You even see a little bit more downside right there. And then these highs up here are still right there. And then when we got to this level, we got rejected. So I don't know if we're coming down, but this is, when I say that we've got this little breakout, this little move to the upside, we're not sure if that's going to maintain itself. So I'll be watching for more downside. And if so, 58,000 probably comes into play, which is going to be right around 59, by the way, probably stop somewhere right here, or we wick down a little bit. And then we start to see a robust move back towards that upside. So, but I mean, until it happens, you won't know. It looks like that. If you look at the 1 day, however, if you look at the daily chart right here, then it tells you again what I tell you. I told you that the auto fib extension almost always hits, right? Well, it's telling me that 110,700 is the next big move for Bitcoin. And of course, it takes days. It's not just going to run up to 110 or anything like that. But I mean, you can see it on the chart right now, seems to be playing out that way, that over time, we're going to see this thing run to at least 110,000. Again, auto fib extension always seems to play out the right way. So, anyway, back to the X over here. You know what? I guess that's it for the day. Yeah, I think we've done it. So we've actually made it through everything. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to pay some bills right now, and then we will see you guys tomorrow. Got a few pieces of content coming out in just a few minutes. I'm going to have the launch of the DevE video, billion-dollar blockchain. I do want to say this. There's two things that I need to say in relation to this. Number one, it is my belief that it's a green ecosystem, by the way, as this blockchain goes. 8 million transactions per second, sub 1 second settlement time. If you haven't already and you're looking for non-KYC plays, go to KCEX, MEXC, BingX, and FEMX if you support Ben Armstrong and me, and you want to share whatever your rewards there may be between us. Sign up over there. But with DevE, I'm digging in. I did my first video today. I don't know if I'm going to do another video. Actually, the video that I did was sponsored by the whale community, not the marketing team, not the team or anything like that. I think that it actually represents a shift. If Bitcoin was released in 2024, it would be DevE. That is my opinion. Now it's called proof of validation, by the way. It's not proof of work. It's not proof of stake. It's something a little bit different. You'll see it as we start to unveil this whole thing and this whole ecosystem. But it's at $8 million market cap. It just launched. It was at a $50 million market cap upon its launch. And then, of course, you have the vesting schedule, and then people sell a little bit. Then the price comes down a little bit. And then all of a sudden it finds a little bit of traction. Then boom, starts to take off. They just formed 3 partnerships recently with corporations. So, the blockchain is only going to go up from here. And I mean, blockchains usually tend to go in the $1 billion range, right? So I get a sense here that DevE probably goes from 8 million to 1 billion in this bull run. And I mean, that's 140x from where it is right now. That seems like a pretty big run. Will it happen? I don't know. I'm no expert on it. It's my opinion. It seems to be a pretty robust system. So also, a lot of this is brought to you by AvicPay. So if you haven't already, AvicPay is in that good buy zone. There is a secret. I'm not allowed. I wasn't told that I could tell you the secret, but there is a big announcement that they're going to have by the end of this month. They told me about it last month, and that I might be talking about AvicPay again coming up pretty soon. But again, I think that this thing is going to move at least back into this sort of range right here, popping through these tops right here, if you will. As a matter of fact, I mean, you can kind of see there's a symmetry to the way this whole thing kind of lines up. So I get a sense here and a feeling that we're probably looking at a big sort of blow off moment here for AvicPay after it comes out of this little hibernation. People sell off and take profits, et cetera, et cetera. but I got a feeling that we're probably moving up to 2 cents at some point pretty soon. Anyway, so now it's time to pay the bills. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Here we go. Researching crypto is so important. Guys, go to Cryptonomy.finance/research today and learn more about AI, DAOs, DeFi, gaming, layer 1 or layer 2, memes, gaming, NFTs, Web3, whatever you need to know, exploring meme coin trends. All the information is available to you. Now make sure you sign up as a VIP or a pro member. Looking at my fixed deposits, guys, you can see right now I just put in another 3 ETH that I'm holding until April 5 of 2025. Let me show you the details here. So at the end of this, my scheduled interest is going to be 3.23 Ethereum. So I'm earning 3 Ethereum for letting them hold on to it for 1 year as a staking process. I anticipate a fantastic payout from this. But guys, the big money is made over here on the Launchpool. Make sure that you're checking it out. I'm a bronze member. Remember, I put in about 0.48 Bitcoin with an expected rate of return of 1 to 5x. I'm taking a risk here. If I only get a 1x, I think I'll still be fine. But as you can see right now, I've already accumulated 83,691 USDT for my efforts so far. How much Bitcoin is that? It's quite a bit. Go to Cryptonomy.